Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Today is the day. If you've been around for a while, you may know that I have a series of cheers and chants that I use in my classroom to celebrate students, and I've been asked so many times to share them all. So we're going through every single one of our classroom cheers. I'm gonna talk about what they are, how I use them, how I teach them, how I display them, and I'm gonna model every single cheer for you, plus give you the editable posters that you see in my classroom for free. If you're new here, hi, my name is Michelle Emerson. I teach 4th grade math, science, and social studies near Austin, Texas. And I have been documenting my life online as a teacher for years now. And something I have done since the very beginning is classroom cheers. I actually learned this from one of my mentor teachers when I was in college. She had these cheers that she would do as a class to celebrate students, and I loved it. It's something I've held on to. I've been sharing cheers, especially last year, as I would add them to our classroom wall and as my students would submit them. So I've gotten a lot of questions about the cheers, what they are, and we're gonna go through them all in this video. So first, what is a classroom cheer? It's basically a chant. It's some words or phrases or a saying that we do, typically with some hand motions involved, maybe a little dancing.
Yeah, okay, dancing.
As a way to celebrate students. We can use them to celebrate students participating, students who have gone above and beyond in some way, students who have done something great in the classroom, students who maybe made a mistake and they were vulnerable about it. It's just a way to celebrate students. Usually, if a student is going to get a cheer, I let that student pick. So I like to have the cheers displayed in the classroom in a way that my students can easily reference them and look at them so that they can decide which cheer that they want. So let me show you what that looks like in my classroom. So I have our class cheers displayed here all across the top of my back whiteboard. Now currently we are up to 21 cheers. I'm running out of space. I probably only have space for about one more, but we did not have all of these last year. A lot of these have actually been submitted by my students. Typically, if a student has a cheer they want to submit, I have them write it down on just a sticky note or a little scrap of paper. They leave it for me on the back table, and then at some point I will pull them and we'll kind of talk through the cheer together. Sometimes we make some adjustments or some changes, but then I go home, I make up the poster, print it out, bring it in, and the student is always so excited to see it up on the wall. So I'm gonna go through all 21 of the cheers. Keep in mind, these are a combination of cheers that I have come across online, cheers that I have made up myself, cheers that my students have made up, and cheers that, as I mentioned, I actually learned from my mentor teacher back when I was in college. Now, I'm gonna go through every single cheer. I'm gonna do it for you so you can see it, you can hear it. I'm gonna put a little poster to the side so that you can see what it looks like for my students to reference. Just keep in mind, this is officially a judgment-free zone, okay? If you continue to watch this video, you are agreeing to not make fun of me, because some of them are kind of lame. Not the ones that my students made up, those are awesome, but the ones that I have made up, some of them are questionable. Okay, so we're just gonna roll with it. The first cheer is called Whoop Whoop. This is one that I learned from my mentor teacher when I was in college. This is what it looks like. Whoop Whoop. It's super simple, and I always tell my students if they're not at a desk or a table, they can kind of smack their legs instead. Next is Pat the Burger. This is another one that I learned from my mentor teacher. I kick it off by saying, Pat the Burger. Is it done yet? No. Is it done yet? No, it's well done. I love that one, I'm not gonna lie. Next is the cheese grater. This is also one I learned from my mentor teacher when I was in college. I usually start by asking the student what kind of cheese they want. It doesn't matter, it's just kind of fun. But I'll be like, do you want Swiss, Munster, Gruyere, Provolone, what do you want? And they'll be like, I want cheddar. And I'll walk over to that student and I do this cheer like over top of their head. The rest of the class joins in, but obviously not over top of the student's head. But we go, here's the cheese, here's the grater, you're great, 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 great. And we kind of get softer as we go. Next is the big gulp. This one was created by a student last year. And if you're not familiar with, especially in the United States, 7-Eleven, it's like a convenience store chain, like a gas station. And they are known for selling big gulps, which are these massive sodas. So the big gulp, you go, gulp, gulp, gulp. Ah, that's nice. Yes, that is the whole cheer. Next is the sky wrap. This one was also created by one of my students last year. I kick off the cheer with the student's name, and then the rest of the class joins in. And then we kind of have hand motions that go with it, but they're very loosey-goosey. So it looks something like this. I'm gonna use the name Billy for all of these because that's my husband's name. But I would kick it off by saying, yeah, Billy, you so fly like the sky, up and high, cool and bright, cause you got it right. And it always ends on a clap. Next is the roller coaster. This is also one that I got from my mentor teacher when I was in college. You go, I kind of build suspense at the top. Woo, woo, woo. Can I just say, I feel ridiculous doing these in my empty classroom when it's still dark outside in the morning, but it's fine, everything's fine. Next is the disco. This is one that I saw online. Basically, you just go, did a good job, did a good job. But you have to be careful because you get a little dizzy going back and forth. Just, you've been warned. Next is the fishing pole. This is one that I came up with. I have no idea what inspired it, but I would start by saying, hey, Billy, you are copying really fantastic. Fishing pole, really, okay. Next is jackpot. I actually learned this from another teacher. Her name is Bethany. I don't know what her handle is anymore on Instagram, but it was teaching and so forth. And she taught us this during one of the Teacher Heart Out cruises that I took back in, I don't know, 2018, I think it was. But I went to one of her sessions on the cruise and she taught this cheer. So again, you would start it off with their name and then the rest of the class joins in. So I would say, yeah, Billy, rolling like a big shot, keep showing what you know, and you're bound to hit the jackpot. Next is Fantastic, and this is a play on the cleaner that's called Fantastic. I saw this one online, it's not mine, but you just spray, wipe, and then you say Fantastic. So it looks like this. Fantastic. Next is Make It Rain. I've seen this one online in various forms, but I personally learned this from my mentor teacher in college. For this cheer, there's no words. It's all just tapping and then clapping to make the noise. And so with my students, I will hold up the number of fingers that I want them to use when tapping. So we start with 1 and everyone taps on their palm, and when everyone's doing it, it starts to sound like rain. You go to 2, 3, 4, and I always tell them this is like the thunder, 5, and then you go back down, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So it sounds like a rainstorm getting louder and then fading again. Next is the na na na, and this is one that I saw online. So for this one, you go na 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 na, na 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 na, hey, hey, hey. Good job, and you point to the student. Next is Who Let the Answer Out. This one was a collaborative effort between my students last year and myself. It's very simple. It's based on the song Who Let the Dogs Out, but it goes, who let the answer out? You. Who let the answer out? You. And you point to the student. There's a recurring theme here if you haven't caught on. Next is You Did Good, and I feel like this one was also kind of a collaborative effort between something I'd seen online and then my students and my ideas, all of that. But it looks something like this. You did good, da-na-na-na-na-na-na. We knew that you would, now da-na-na-na-na-na-na. So good, so good, you got it right, da-da-da-da. And I always tell my students they can freestyle with their dancing and they cannot make fun of my dancing. Okay, one of the latest additions is Crack the Egg. This one was submitted by a student this year, and then we collaborated together to form it into this. So it's kind of like Pat the Burger. I would say, crack the egg, and you crack the egg in the pan. And I'd say, who are we cooking for? And they say, the expert. And then you flip the egg. Why are we cooking for them? They did excellent. I love a good food pun, if you can't tell. Next is Boom Bing. This one was submitted by a student this year. It looks something like this. Boom, boom, bing, bing. That was amazing. And then new ones that were just added this week. So my students have not even learned these yet. They will have by the time you've seen this. But currently, as I'm filming this, they have not learned these. First up is Brilliant. This is one that I kind of saw online and then I just molded it a little bit to make it longer. But basically, I would kick it off by saying, did it get cold in here? And then we all start shivering and we go, because that was brilliant. Next is Crystal Ball. Once again, this is one that I saw online and then I just kind of added words and hand motions and things to make it work for me. So for this one, you start by rubbing your crystal ball and we go, ooh, ah. What do we see? So many more of your victories. Yeah, not my best work. Next is On Fire. This is based on the Alicia Keys song. Once again, I kind of saw part of this online and then I added to it to make it my own. But I would start by going up to the student and I kind of like touch their shoulder and pretend like they're hot.
Feeling hot, hot, hot.
So I'd go, ooh, Billy's hot. And then the students all chime in and go, this student's on fire. And their ideas inspire, or aspire. I feel like I say it different every time. The cheer card poster says aspire, but I feel like sometimes it comes out of my mouth as inspire. Either way, doesn't matter. And ideally, you move your hands up like a fire when you're doing it. But again, you can kind of freestyle it. Next up is a cheer called Shine Bright. It was submitted by one of my students this year. It looks something like this. Shine bright like a light, 'cause you got it right. And then last, but probably least, is a cheer I'm calling Butter. Now, here's the thing. I had a student submit a cheer and it was something about like you're on a roll, and then they were trying to rhyme roll with bravo, but then I told them something I say to my class all the time is you're on a roll like sushi. So I said, we're gonna try to make it into like a sushi pun, but I couldn't come up with anything. So then I started thinking, well, roll, butter on a roll. Can I just read to you for a second? Here's how these cheers come to be when I come up with them, okay? These were the notes that I took over the weekend as I was trying to put this together. One of the first things I had was, your answer could not have been butter, and you're on a roll like a casserole. Like that was the direction I was going. And then I started thinking about butter, margarine, kind of like margin for error, but margarine. Yeah, you can see where this is going. So here's how this one goes. Your answer was smooth like butter with no margin for error. You were on a roll and that couldn't be rare. Okay, it's not my best work, but it rhymes and it plays off of the butter pun, so we're going with it. So those are all 21 cheers. Thank goodness that's over. I promise, actually I don't promise, but it's somewhat less lame when you're doing it with an entire class of, 8, 9, 10-year-olds. But regardless, those are the cheers that we currently have in our classroom. As I mentioned, they're always expanding because I have students who submit new ones. I display them above my whiteboard so it's easy for my students to see. And if you are interested in those posters, I have them as an editable CANVA template that I will link for you down in the description box. So you can go in, you can customize them, edit them however you want. As you saw, I print them out on colored cardstock, I laminate them, and then I just staple them up. The next year, I teach them to my students in the order that they're up there. So for the first 3 weeks of school, I basically let my students, or I guess it really takes like a month, the first month of school, when a student gets a cheer, they can choose one of the cheers they've already learned, or they can learn a new one. But I only teach them a maximum of one new one a day. So on the very first day of school, I teach the entire class whoop whoop. Then on the second day of school, they can choose a whoop whoop or a new one, which is Pat the Burger. And then on the third day of school, they can choose whoop whoop, Pat the Burger, or they can learn the cheese grater. By the time that all of my students know all of the cheers, then they can choose from any of the cheers. So in class, if a student's gonna get a cheer, I just say, hey, that was great, pick a cheer. They tell us a cheer, and then we all do it together. But I hope that you enjoyed this video and me just totally embarrassing myself. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and notification bell. As I mentioned, you can grab the editable CANVA template down in the description box, completely free. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that your students enjoy it as much as mine do. As always, thank you for watching. I love you so much. Don't forget to put your positive pants on, and I will catch you in the next one.